Welcome to our first episode of BIBS Talk. I'm your host, Stefan here. This is our distinguished guest, Ms. Bartowski.
Hi, nice to meet you, Stefan. Yes, I am a teacher here at BIBS. I'm an AP language and composition teacher. I've also done IB in previous schools, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so today we are going to evaluate a research program that is suitable for international students like us. It is called Cultural Compass, and analyzing the cultural symbols processed within the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Sumerian historical context for this masterpiece. And as a result, students in this program will write an essay focusing on Gilgamesh and other fields that relate to these ancient classics. So our first question is Ms. Bartowski, what do you think about the content of this interdisciplinary study program?
Well, from the research I've done, I think it's highly valuable, especially for students at the higher level of English here at BIBS or at any campus, where you're mixing history and English literature, or ancient civilization in this case. But from what I looked at, you could have collaboration between the history and the English departments, and the students would benefit from that integration of those subject areas.
What do you think about the relationship between the classic literature and the historical context for writers to wrote it? And how do you think combining these two will help students?
Well, it's based in Western civilization, so I would take just the Greek literature, for example, like the Iliad and the Odyssey. They're usually studied both in high schools and universities, back in the U.S. and other English-speaking countries as just literary.
Analyzing from analysis.
But that would be amazing to add the analysis of history. I mean, it would be heavy. You'd have to make sure you did a balance between the literary elements and the historical context. So I could see where it could relate to ancient Sumeria and Gilgamesh. It would be a lot for students to balance both, because the literature in and of itself is a lot with these epics.
Would you recommend this program to international students to participate?
Yes. Again, from the research I've done, I've seen where you have online teaching with that platform called Classin, where it's amazing. The teachers can show maps, and the students, of course, can see them on their end. This is all via computer and this absolutely wonderful teaching platform of Classin. And then you can do, you can extract quotes, interpretations of the quotes, talk about Latin and Greek roots of the words. And that's just the literary aspect of it, let alone, the historical aspect.
That's true. What advice do you have for reading classic literature that is closely related to the history of a certain era?
Boy, that's
any personal experience analyzing text like Gilgamesh?
Well, Gilgamesh I've analyzed somewhat, but not as much as the Odyssey and the Iliad. There's a modern book I've read recently called The Song of Achilles, which is it takes place in ancient Greece, so it's all the heroes of the Odyssey and the Iliad. It's fabulous. It's a great book. My advice, if you apply that to Gilgamesh, is not to get too bogged down in the names and where it's taking place, but follow the story, follow what the character motivations are, and
do some skill we used in rhetoric analysis overlap with analyzing Gilgamesh somehow? Because Gilgamesh is so ancient classic. But the sample of our rhetoric analysis, there are more recent.
I would pose that question to you. What do you...
I used to apply the method of grid note, the one I showed you before too. But I didn't apply them to rhetoric analysis questions in AP language composition. What kind of international student would you recommend?
It would be ones who are at the upper echelon of the AP program. They're proving themselves with AP, or it could be an IB program, but they're in the IB program, it's language A, which is they're studying English at a really high level. Yeah, versus English B, which is a valid class, but it's not, yeah, I mean, if you're going to be studying classic literature, it's the student's level of English has to be, I would say, I don't even know the terminology, but it has to be very high to advanced. There it is, high to advanced to enter into the classic literature. Yeah.
Okay, that's the talk for today. Let's appreciate Ms. Petrowski's effort and time.
Thank you, Stefan. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.